Ladies and gentlemen, don't tell anybody, but the secret word tonight is people. P-E-O-P-L-E.
Really?
You bet your life. Elgin American, creators of America's most beautiful compacts, smartest cigarette cases, finest dresser sets, present Groucho Marx in the Elgin American show, You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here's that sterling Elgin American, the one, the only...
Well, glory be, that's me, Groucho Marx. Thank you. Well, here I am again with $1,500 for one of our couples tonight. George Fenneman, who's supposed to try and take it away from me?
We invited several couples to the show tonight who are celebrating 50 years of marriage. And here's the couple selected for the studio audience just before we went on the air. Ed and Mabel Lemon meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for Elgin American Compacts. And if either of you youngsters say the secret word at any time we're talking, you will win a 16-millimeter Apollo sound movie projector. It's a common word, something you see every day. So you two are celebrating your golden anniversary this year, eh? Well, my heartiest congratulations. Mabel, Lemon, what does your husband call you informally?
Toots?
And Ed, what does she call you when she wants to butter you up a little?
Pinky.
Does that have any legitimate derivation of any kind? Just
No.
could have been Punky just as well. Ed, when is your 50th anniversary?
10th day of February, 1 o'clock.
Is that Eastern time, or... Does he remember your anniversary every year?
No,
Well, when he forgets your anniversary, how do you remind him?
well, I usually send him a little present about 3 days beforehand.
Like what? Anything laying around the house?
Yeah, just anything laying around the house. Just a reminder.
An old turn-up or something?
Just a reminder.
How old were you when you got married, Mabel?
17.
17. And how old when you took this lovely girl to be your bride?
About 25 or 6.
What kind of a job did you have when you were married?
I was farming in the auctioneer business.
What do you mean? You'd run down with a plow down the long row and holler out the prices at the same time? Did you ever play an old piano by mistake? Or...
Never did.
What did you grow?
Corn.
Corn?
Oats. Yes.
Corn and eggs? Grew eggs?
Oh, yes, we grew eggs.
They grow very high, those eggs?
No, sir. 10 cents a dozen along about that
10
time.
cents a dozen, huh? Don't remind me of it. How much did you earn a week 50 years ago?
Oh, about $20, I expect.
No, you couldn't get along on that kind of money now. How much you making now?
Nothing. I retired.
You're a regular Horatio Alger story, this is. Started with $20 a week, and now he's earning nothing. You're doing about as well as the government. How many children do you have, Mabel?
7.
And how many grandchildren?
9.
And great-grandchildren?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Well, I'll appreciate an announcement when you're ready. Well, I have a big surprise for you two. For Mrs. Lemon, we want you to have a truly happy golden wedding anniversary. So here is your gift from Elgin American, a $250 solid gold compact.
Just wonderful. I never had one like
And to make this celebration complete, Ed, you have my permission to kiss your wife. Now, let's see if we can ferret out the secrets of a happy marriage. How did you capture this old buck, Mabel? I mean this fellow 50 years ago. How did you meet him?
I met him at a party. At
What
a house,
kind of a party?
Oh, house party, play party, where they play games, and such as post-offs. And London Bridge is tumbling down, and skip to Maloo, my darling.
Skip to Malou, my darling? Is that as good as post office?
Yes. Not quite, though. Not quite.
The stamps were much cheaper then, too, weren't they? Well, who did the proposing, you or Ed?
Well, he did, I guess.
He did, huh? And do you remember what he said when he proposed?
Well, I believe he told me I had a nice big trunk and it would hold all.
You had a big trunk?
It would hold most of all of our clothes.
I guess he thought he was proposing to an elephant. Well, I never heard of a man getting married just for a trunk, huh? Was this trunk filled? Well, I mean, was this the kind
Oh, no, he said he had lots of room, for my clothes. That's.
Oh.
He thought I could go along with him,
Have you ever caught him flirting with other girls since you married?
Well,
Look at that fake, innocent look on Ed's face.
I don't think he could.
You don't think he could?
No.
Mabel, you have no idea how innocent you are. Well, Ed, when you were courting Mabel here, what did you do for entertainment?
Go out buggy riding.
The horse ever run out of gas?
Come to a nice shady spot. Probably we would drive under the tree and let the horse cool off.
Ed, are you sure it was the horse that needed cooling off? Now, Ed, has Mabel been a good cook all these years?
She certainly has, yes, sir.
What's your favorite meal, Ed?
Oh, potatoes, pork chops, and apple pie.
How often do you get a meal like that?
Haven't had one for 20 years.
Well, you're the sweetest pair of lemons I've ever seen. I guess marriage is easy when two people are really suited to each other. And after 50 years of happiness, I'd say your marriage is off to a very good beginning. Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to play You Bet Your Life for $1,500. Fenneman, what is your advice to the ladies?
Have you looked at your compact lately? If it's battered or shoddy, it should be discarded. This one accessory that you actually use more than any other, and use where people can see it, is extremely important to your smartness. So important, in fact, that fashion says every woman needs 3 compacts to keep her daytime clothes, sportswear, and evening apparel completely harmonious. Don't let your compacts count against you when you can get exquisite Elgin Americans from the widest choice there is of stunning styles and convenient prices. Elgin American designing is beautifully individual. The craftsmanship is famous for perfection. So look at your compact tonight. And tomorrow, get the new compact that will do the most for your smartness, because it's first in fashion and Elgin American.
Now, let's see if you two will get a chance at the $1,500 question. You're going to play the Elgin American game, You Bet Your Life. Fenneman, tell them the rules.
Each of our 3 couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $1,500 question at the end of the show. Our other 2 couples are in a waiting room off stage, so they won't know what goes on until it's their turn.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. What question category did you select?
Hotel.
Famous hotels. Your 4 questions pay even money. Here's your first question. How much of the 20 are you going to bet?
10.
10. All right. In what city do you find the Mark Hopkins Hotel? Take a guess. You too, Mabel.
I don't know. It's in New York.
No, I'm sorry. It's San Francisco.
They lost $10. They now have $10.
Now remember, you're going for $1,500 tonight. How much of the $10 will you bet on this one?
5.
5. All right. Now, in what city do you find the Roney Plaza Hotel? sorry. It's Miami Beach.
They now have $5.
Here's your third question. You got $5, and how much are you going to bet? Bet that's right. In what city do you find the Book Cadillac Hotel?
Detroit.
Detroit is correct.
Well, they're on their way. They have $10.
Now, here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much are you going to bet of the 10?
$5.
$5. All right. In what city do you find the Bellevue Stratford Hotel? Take a guess.
New York City.
No, I'm sorry. It was Philadelphia. Well, I'd like to think that you have happy memories of your appearance here tonight, so I'm going to give you another chance. You answer this one correctly, I'll give you $10. I'm thinking of a number between 2 and 4. What is that number?
3.
3 is correct.
Their final score is $5.
Well, you didn't win much money, but you got that $250 gold compact from Elgin American, and I hope you enjoy your golden wedding. Stick around now. You may still have a chance at the $1,500 question.
Perhaps the next couple will say the secret word, Groucho. It's people. P-E-O-P-L-E. They've been in the waiting room off stage, so it's okay now, boys, to bring them in. Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a housewife and an ambulance driver, Groucho, and here they come. Mrs. Rose Meldon and Mr. Frank Romaine. Meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for Elgin American Compacts, folks. You know about the secret word. Here's a clue. It's a common word, something you see every day. You might say it at any time we're talking. An ambulance driver, eh? What kind of an ambulance do you drive?
I drive an ambulance for Los Angeles County General Hospital.
Mm-hmm. You have to be a doctor on your job?
No, we aren't doctors. All is required is American Red Cross first aid card.
And four gear shifts, huh? Well, maybe you can help me. My little Scotty is suffering from a broken bone. What should I do?
I'd put the bone in a splint.
Well, that wouldn't help. My dog's suffering because he forgot where he buried the bone. What's the most common type of accident?
Well, accidents in the home are the most common types of accidents.
We had a big powder explosion at my home the other night. My wife found the powder on my sleeve and exploded. Now, Mr. Romaine, how about auto accidents? Los Angeles is the worst place in the world for traffic mishaps, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Approximately every 30 minutes, a person is hit with an auto.
Well, how can he stand it, huh? He must be your best customer. You ought to sell him a weekly commutation ticket. Well, we'd like you to have Elgin American's handsome cigarette case in 2 tones of jeweler's bronze.
Thank you very much.
And for our housewife, here is an Elgin American compact, round, slim, and finished in satin silver.
That's beautiful.
Mrs. Rose Meldon, huh? You're a housewife, huh? What does your husband do?
He's a store fixture man.
How did you meet him?
Well, my folks are very old-fashioned. They're from the old country, you know, and they just don't believe in fellas coming over to the house and taking the girlfriend out. So,
What do they believe in?
oh, you got to be engaged before you can go out. My husband was quite determined. So he'd climb up a telegraph pole with spikes and climb up.
Slide into the room, huh?
Oh, no. Well, he'd get up with the spikes, you know, and get up there, and my window was right through the pole there. And he'd try to talk to me through there and say, well, how about a date? And then, of course, my father wouldn't see it. My mother, they couldn't speak English anyway. You know, in the old country, Armenia.
I see.
The next morning when I'd get out of bed, why, he'd be right down there to meet me. He'd get down off the pole again. That's no kidding.
He must have been madly in love with you, Rose.
Well,
Not that I blame him, but...
Oh, that's your nice.
Did you have any other boyfriends who had other
yeah.
devices for getting at you?
Oh, I had another boyfriend. He was
The other
10
one.
years older than my husband. My mother didn't like him at all.
She didn't like the other
No,
one?
because he liked to take a few drinks.
It's a good thing that
But my
pole
husband
climber...
plays the horses now, and it's worse.
You mean he's watching him at the post now instead?
Oh, yeah, that's right. You got it. Oh, boy. What a chicken.
Well, he's had a short life. He went from the pole to the post, that's all.
Want to tell me about the other boyfriend?
I'd like to hear something
Why,
about all your boyfriends. Huh?
Well, this one was really funny. Oh, I was coming home from the YWCA one night, and...
Likely story, huh?
I'm not... And, well, they were
Now,
both...
before you start this story, were you married or single now?
Oh, no. The other fellow was very jealous. The one that's 10 years older. Very jealous, and, my husband was only 17.
Now, the other one.
And, well, the other one would follow as I was saying, I was coming from YWCA, and they were both following one another, you know what I mean? And my husband had this flying cloud, the big Rios, and the other one had the one that's 10 years older, that had a little bit of a Ford, those Model Ts. And they would follow me along the curb, and get in the car. They did that for 15 blocks, one saying, come on, and the other one said, come on. And by this time, my husband got so mad, he said, I'll knock him off the road. So he ran right into him and knocked his car off the road, and cops came, and then I started to run because I didn't want my father and mother to hear about it. You know how old-fashioned they are.
I must say that your folks led a very sheltered life.
So when I got home, I'm not finished. When I got home...
You're not finished?
No, my husband ran up to me. Both of them coming up and
I'm a little confused now.
Well, I'm just trying to tell you that...
I don't know whether you're married to a Rio or a lamppost.
The little Ford, the Model T Ford, was all over the street. The tire was flat, and he was out in the street, and they were fighting like anything. Both of them there. One was in the alley, and they started right up again.
Well, you finally got married. After that story, I feel like a stranger around. Would you mind shaking hands? I think I met you about an hour ago, huh? Dr. Kildare, as an ambulance driver, just what are your duties?
To bring sick people to the hospital from their homes.
What was that? What did he say?
People.
Here we go again. You said people, and that's the secret word, so you each win an Apollo 16mm sound movie projector, and you can enjoy movies every night in your own home.
Thank you.
Not only that, you could walk out of here tonight with $1,500. Mr. Romaine, I don't want to put you out of business, but I think all of us ought to do everything we can to make less work for ambulance drivers. And we can do it by driving carefully and by crossing only at intersections. Now, you're going to play You Bet Your Life for $1,500. If you run your $20 into more than the other couples, you get a chance at the $1,500 question. Fenneman, remind our listeners how much the first couple won.
The Golden Wedding couple won $5.
Here we go. Let's see how high you can build your $20. What question category did you select? Name the dance.
Name the dance.
All right, here's your first question. How much you going to bet of the 20?
We're going to bet $10.
Okay. Now, what kind of a dance would you do to this music? Hula dance is correct.
They're on their way. They have $30.
Remember, you're going for $1,500 tonight. How much of your $30 will you bet now?
Well, let's make it 20.
20? All right. Let's see if you can identify this dance. Okay, Stan. Minuet is right.
They're really fighting, Groucho. They have
Right out loud,
$50.
you know. Now, here's your third question. How much of your $50 will you bet on this one? Going to bet 40. What kind of a dance would you do to this music?
No. Oh, wait a minute. No, what's conga? That's stuff.
Right?
Conga. I think it's the conga.
Do you?
Say
I
it.
think
Yeah,
it's
you say it. No, it's the conga.
All right, she says conga.
She's right. They now have $90.
You certainly wiggled into that answer. Now you have $90. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 90 are you going to bet?
We got 90. If we bet it all, we got 180.
And then if you don't...
You're
All
the
right, let's
boss.
shoot the work.
Bet the whole 90. All right, here we go. What kind of a dance would you do to this music?
Conga.
talk right up into here. One answer, please, and decide on one answer. And talk right up.
What do you think it is?
What are you going to say now?
It's the Samba, like. It's that Samba, you know.
Oh. And they wind up with $180.
Well, thanks and good luck from Elgin American Compacts. Now, in just 1 minute, our last couple will play the Elgin American game, and then we know who gets the chance at the $1,500 question. Fenneman, it's your turn.
Here's one question of age. Any woman will answer if she can. How old is your dresser set? You'll say it's far too old when you see the glamorous new ones by Elgin American. It's amazing what smartness one of these dresser sets will give your bedroom, what pride you'll take in it. There's a choice of beautiful styles and designs at prices you'll want to pay. You'll appreciate the extra clear reflection from the specially ground mirrors. Combs are hand-cut, bristles are nylon. And you can have a matching powder jar, too, with or without music. Really, nothing quite equals the beauty for your boudoir that a lovely new Elgin American dresser set can give.
We'll soon know who's going to earn the most money tonight and get the chance at the $1,500 question. George, who's ahead so far?
Well, the housewife and the ambulance driver are leading with $180. And here's our final couple, Groucho. They've been in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know the secret word is people. We invited several newsboys and some city editors to the show tonight, and here come the two selected by our studio audience just before we went on the air. Newsboy Morris Blacker and editor Casey Shawn meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for Elgin American Compacts, and if you say the secret word at any time we're talking, you each win a 16-millimeter Apollo sound movie projector. It's a common word, something you see every day. Couple of newspaper men, eh? News vendor Morris Blacker, is that right?
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
Only 43.
43, huh? Are you married?
Yes, sir.
Any little throwaways at home?
Two.
How'd you meet your wife?
Oh, I used to go out gambling on a boat a lot of times, and I used to got in the habit of leaving my money with her, and I got so I'm still leaving it with her.
Casey Shawhan, is that how you pronounce it?
That's right.
Are you married, Casey?
Yes, sir. 23 years.
I see. You don't believe in freedom of the press, huh? Tell me, editor, what newspaper do you work for?
The Los Angeles Mirror.
Well, let's make some headlines. Editor has a nose for news, and nosy meet newsy, huh? I now pronounce you man and boy. That'll be 7 cents, please.
The mirror's a nickel.
I have a mirror at home for shaving, but there's not much news in that. Not any news that I want to see, anyhow. Where do you hawk your papers, newsboy?
Hollywood and Vine?
That's a pretty good corner, huh?
Oh, yes, sir. I've only been there 18 years.
Suppose the paper had a dull headline like, City Council votes sales tax. How would you pep it up to sell your papers? Go ahead, shout it up.
City Council wants more money.
Well, that's not news. Or you could holler, big robbery at City Hall. Now, being at one of the most famous corners in the world, do tourists ever ask you for information?
Oh, yes.
Now, what's the oddest question a stranger ever asked you?
An elderly person come up to me one time. He looked around as if he was lost. He was looking for something. He come up to me. He says, "Say, do you know anything?"
That was a stickler, wasn't it? Now, I'd like to present the ideal gifts to you, gentlemen. For each of you, a slim, oblong cigarette case in silver finish by Elgin American. Now, tell me, editor, what do you have to know to become a city editor, besides how to read?
Well, you have to be a gossip. You have to be inquisitive. You have to learn to be a reporter, know which is news, which is headlines. We have to think for headlines.
What do people read most in a newspaper?
Well, probably the funnies are tops.
Well, that proves how important the city editor is, huh? Now, editor, do you think television will ever replace the newspaper?
No, sir.
I agree with you. Can't get a television set in the bottom of a bird cage. Now, let's see how you can work together as a team for $1,500. You're the last couple to play You Bet Your Life. Beat the other two couples, and you get the $1,500 question. I can't tell you how much they won, but George is off stage to remind our listeners.
The housewife and the ambulance driver are high with $180.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. What question category did you select?
Questions about dice.
Slang expressions
Yes,
used
sir.
in dice games. That's
Yes,
something a newspaper man ought to be pretty familiar with, huh?
We hope.
And the newsboy, too. Now, here's your first question. How much will you bet?
10.
10? All right. Snake eyes is the slang expression for what throw in dice?
2 aces.
2 aces is correct.
We're off to a good start. They have $30.
Remember, you're going for $1,500 tonight. How much of your $30 will you bet on this one?
20.
20. Okay.
All right. Little Joe from Kokomo is what throw?
2 twoses.
2 twos is right.
They're really on their way. They have $50 now.
Now, here's your third question. How much
40.
you going to bet of the 50?
40.
40? Captain Hicks is what throw? Captain Hicks is what throw?
Boxcar.
No, I'm sorry. Captain Hicks is a throw of 6.
They now have $10.
Now, here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 10 are you going to bet on this one?
Bet the 10.
You're going to bet the 10. Boxcars is what throw?
2 sixes.
2 sixes is correct.
And they wind up with a total of $20. And that means the housewife and the ambulance driver get a chance at the big question.
Congratulations. In just 30 seconds, I'll ask the $1,500 question.
Remember, the name Elgin American stands for the finest compacts, the loveliest dresser sets to be found. And you'll find them at leading jewelry stores, department stores, and specialty shops. In rich colors, silver finish, jeweler's bronze, and sterling silver to please your taste and your pocketbook. Keep yourself in perfect compact fashion. Your bedroom in beautiful dresser set condition with Elgin American. Look at your compact tonight. And here's the winning couple, the housewife and the ambulance driver.
Well, back again to try for $1,500, eh? Good luck. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so talk it over thoroughly, and no help from the audience, please. Here it is for $1,500 in cash. The 10th President of the United States at the age of 71 renounced the Union and became a Confederate congressman. Who was this 10th President? What is the answer you two have decided upon?
We think it might have been Andrew Jackson.
I'm sorry. The answer is John Tyler. So that means the big question next week will be worth $2,000. You've been a wonderful team, and in addition to your gifts from Elgin American, you earned $180 in the quiz. And don't forget, you each won an Apollo Sound movie projector. Congratulations, and thanks to both of you.
Thank you.
The Elgin American Show, You Bet Your Life, is a John Goodell production. Transcribed from Hollywood, directed by Bob Dwan. Editor, Bernie Smith. Music by Stanley Myers. Remember, next week's big question pays $2,000. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for You Bet Your Life, starring Groucho Marx. Presented by the creators of America's most beautiful compacts, smartest cigarette cases, and finest dresser sets, Elgin American.
Good night, folks. Have you looked at your compact lately?